Welcome back to Soul Power Yoga. I'm Kayla, and today I'm going to lead you through some simple and effective stretches today that you can do every day just to feel better in your body and to reset your mind, your emotions, and to get grounded in your body. So the way that we're going to begin is with the breath. So find a comfortable seated position, and then when you're there, close your eyes and drop into the awareness in your body. So become aware of your body and start to breathe big full breaths in and out of your nose. Just noticing how it feels to be in your body right now. Check in with the state of your mind and your emotions as you breathe. Just notice all of what is going on within you, physically, and what is invisible. Now take your hand to your belly and the other hand over your heart. Let's breathe a little bit more intentionally. Let's do 3 breaths in a wave-like motion, starting from the low lobes of the lungs all the way up to the top of the lungs. So breathe into the low rib cage, and then into the chest and the throat. And release the breath from the throat, the chest, and the low ribs or belly. So continue that for 2 more breaths. Filling up completely all the way to the top. Drag the breath up the back of the throat and then release. Slow down that exhale. So this last one, big, full, deep breath, deeper than the last. And the exhale, release, let go, really slow. Make it slower than the last breath out. Use your abdomen to push the rest of the breath out. And then relax your hands, blink your eyes open, and take your palms to clasp and take them to the top of your head so your hands are open and you're pushing onto the top of your head. Take a deep breath here and exhale. Relax the shoulders. Feel the groundedness in the tops of your legs, and then inhale, reach the hands up high, straighten out the arms. And then exhale, lower the hands down to land on the top of your head. So inhale, fill the lungs up from the bottom all the way up to the top as you extend your arms up and reach, grow tall through the spine. And exhale, release down. Okay, this time flip your hands the other way. This one's a little bit challenging for me to do, but do your best to press your palms up towards the ceiling. And then lean up and over to one side. And bring balance into your body by making some space in areas that need to open up more, and then also ground down, press through the legs and parts of the body to create balance in this stretch so you don't fall over and you're not toppling over yourself in one direction. So reach up on the inhale, and an exhale, turn over to the other side. Lean over, side body stretch. This is great for the the spine and the sides. And then inhale, reach up into the center and release the hands. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, let's come on to hands and knees now. And press the tops of your feet into the ground. Let's go through a few cat-cows. Maybe kind of sway your hips side to side. And tuck and round for cat pose. And inhale, lift up for cow. On the exhale, tuck and round. And then make big circles in the hips. Send your hips all the way to your heels, out to the side, lean forward, stretch into your wrists. Keep your fingers spread wide and planted onto the ground. And then we'll go in the other direction, make big circles, stretching out the hips. Okay, let's practice a little balancing practice here. So extend your left hand out and your right leg back behind you, and then do a few ankle rolls in both directions. Push up and away from the ground. And push down firmly through that left foot, the top of the left foot. Okay, we're gonna hug the knee in and the elbow to touch, round the back. And then extend, reach up, keep the knee bent as you point your toe up to the sky and maybe reach your hand up too. And one more time, exhale, bring the elbow to the knee, practice your balancing. And inhale, stretch out, reach up, arch the back, and then bring the hand and the knee back to the ground. We'll do the other side. Reach your right arm out in front, your left leg back behind, and we're gonna ankle roll both directions. Maintain your awareness into your breath and your body, all while practicing these movements. It really requires you to be super present, and that is the beauty of yoga. On your exhale, bring your elbow to your knee and round your spine. Tuck your chin in as well. Keep your toes pointed. Inhale, extend, and reach up. But be careful not to kink your neck. It's more about the arch in the back, and then creating an openness in the front of the chest. Exhale, tuck and round. And inhale, reach, extend, bring your hand and your knee and your foot down, and take a child's pose, the version you want, knees wide or together. Extend your arms out in front, or maybe they're down by your sides. Just find what you like more. Okay, I just had to make sure that you can still hear me. Okay, let's take 3 deep breaths in child's pose here. This time, notice how the breath is in the back of the body. And if it's not, see if you can make it go that way. So send your breath into the back ribs and feel them expand out to the sides and up towards the ceiling. Hi, Lilo. Okay, so lift your chest and your head. Hi. All right, we're gonna tuck the toes and then send your hips up and back towards the sky for a downward facing dog. Lift your tailbone up, your sit bones up to the sky, and push your right heel down to the ground, but keep your left lifted. And then we're gonna alternate. So press your left heel down and lift your right heel up, stretching into, all the places that you feel it, especially behind the the knees, in the calves, the ankles. Keep switching side to side, stretching the hamstrings. Okay, so now come down onto your knees. Let's stretch our chest and our abdominal organs a little bit more here. So bend the elbows and then bring your chest to the ground. Take your belly to the ground, extend your legs down, and then with one leg, lift it up, internally rotate it and set the foot and leg down. Lift your left leg up and then internally rotate it. So hug it in and then set it back down to meet with the other foot. Okay, lift your chest, press into your hands to lift your chest and head, straight arms. So just make the adjustment, because if this feels too intense for your low back, then just take your hands out a little bit more and you'll notice how it feels easier on your back. Think about bringing the chest and the low belly forward and up. And this stretching of the front of the body really helps stretch the back of the body, and that helps you get into back bends a lot more safely, and you can do a back bend a lot better if you want it to look pretty cool. So that is one of the little tricks to a good back bend. Okay. Now take your hands on either side of your ribs, tuck your toes, and you can either press up through a plank pose or use your knees to lift your chest. Send your hips back to your heels and then lift your hips up for downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to do that again, but we're going to follow the breath, and it will be all on one inhale as we lower down, come into that seal pose, and then we're going to do all one exhale back to downward facing dog. Okay, so ready? Inhale, lift up, bring your chest and belly to the ground. Keep on breathing in as you adjust your hands and lift your chest. And at the top of that inhale, exhale, lower down. Send your hips back, all one exhale, and then back to downward facing dog. Great, let's do it again. Inhale, lift up, lower down. And exhale, back to down dog. Okay, just continue with normal breathing. And we're going to lift the right leg up high this time and open up the hip so that it's an external rotation. And keep the foot, the knee bent as you try to reach your right knee up higher towards the ceiling. You'll notice a big stretch in the front of the quad, and we're opening up the hips. Okay, so from here you're gonna keep the right knee bent and then shift it forward, step it up in between your hands. Take your back knee down and untuck the toes so your foot is on the ground, the top of the foot, and then lift your chest up. Place your hands onto your knee, your thigh, and smile. Okay, so you want to keep your hips up high enough that your core is having to work here rather than hanging out in your hip joints. So also check in with your right leg. Make sure your knee is over your right ankle. I hope you're having fun. I always just want to make sure I'm having fun when I'm doing yoga. And you know, things that are good for us can be fun too. So it doesn't need to be just to get through it because it's good for us. I mean, I think a lot of things start out that way at first, but then we learn to find the fun and the enjoyment in it. Okay, on your exhale, take your hands down and then straighten out the front right leg. So we're doing this half splits here, and it feels really good in the ankle and the foot of the right foot here. Send your right hip crease back to your left foot. And this will square off your hips and give you more of a deeper stretch in the right leg. And just, it's for better alignment too. And that is what matters. We want to be aligned physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? All of it to be in alignment. Okay, let's move with the breath a little bit here. So on the inhale, lift and shift your attention forward. And here you can actually drop your left hip down. Okay, lift your chest. You can do a slight back bend if that feels good. And then exhale, send your hips back as you straighten your right leg. And then maybe drape your body over. Well, the whole thing's your body. It's so funny. I don't know why I say that sometimes, but it's drape your torso over your right leg. Okay, and on the inhale, lift the chest, bend, come into that low, deep lunge. And exhale, send the hips back, half splits, big stretch. Maybe you want to flex your right foot. It feels a little bit different. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, send your hips back. Maybe you want to sit all the way back to your heel. Okay, lift the chest, low lunge, and then we're going to switch sides. So take your right leg back behind, and let's stretch it back just for a moment because it feels like a good counter stretch. And then we'll do the other side. Let's meet in downward facing dog. And we're going to open up the left hip this time. Remember that external rotation, three-legged dog. So stretch the left leg up, bend the knee, keep the knee lifted up towards the sky as you open up your left hip. Take a big full breath in that space down there around the pelvis. And step it forward in between your hands. Take your back right knee down. Untuck the toes and then lift your chest and your head. And this is where we talked for a while last time. So let's hang out here for a minute or two. Remember to lift your core up and in so that you can draw your left thigh into its hip socket here. And then stack the knee right over the left ankle. It's probably my least favorite part is explaining those aspects of the body, but I know how important it is because of the alignment and to make sure that we're using our body in a safe and productive way. So it is essential. But what's even more important is the awareness that you bring to this practice. So always bring it back to the breath as the tool to anchor yourself in your body and in this moment. Press down through the front left heel. Just notice that sensation. And also that back right foot, push into the top of the foot. Notice what that feels like. Maybe you are on carpet or maybe you're using a mat. Just notice what your body's sensing right now. Even the smells in the room. We want to bring more attention to the senses. This is another way for us to practice being grounded and really living in the moment. Okay, so on your exhale, take your hands down, and then we're gonna stretch back in that half splits. Feels so good. Take big, full, deep breaths. And shift the weight forward. You can let your right hip now drop down and get a little bit of a deeper stretch here. And then we're going to shift the weight back and start to move in a flow with one breath, one movement. So inhale, lift the chest, low lunge. You can turn it into more of a back bend if you'd like. And on the exhale, bring the belly forward, the chest forward, tuck your chin down towards the ground, drape your torso over your left leg, and inhale, deeply lift the chest and head. Exhale, send it back. Maybe you want to flex your left foot and send your hips down to your heel. And let's do it again. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, notice how it feels. Inhale, rise up. And then we're going to take that foot back, stretch it behind you. Okay, so let's take that right leg back behind now, and then turn your foot out to the side like a kickstand, and then come onto the inner edge of your right foot. Lift your right arm up, reach it up to the sky, press the chest out and forward for this modified version of Wild Thing. You want to press your hips forward and straight left arm. Take a couple big circles with the arm. And then we will do the other side. So come back to the center. Extend your left leg back behind. Kickstand your right leg. Come onto the inside of your left foot and then reach your arm up. Press your chest forward, your hips forward. And take a couple big circles, whichever direction you want to go. I think it feels pretty good to do it more of an external rotation in the arm, opening up, taking big circles. I like the way this feels on my neck also. It's a good stretch there. And we'll come back to face the ground for tabletop. And walk your hands back, but tuck your toes under for a quick arch stretch for the feet. So sit up all the way if you can. If not, you can be down low with your hands on the ground. Okay, and then if you want to open up the shoulders a little bit more, you can take your right arm up and down towards the center of your back, and then reach your left arm around. See if you can meet the two. And if you are coming there, then make sure this elbow is pointed up towards the sky and you're hugging the bicep, tricep in towards your face. Let's take another deep breath here. And then slowly release and switch sides. One more breath. Release your hands, and we're going to come down onto the ground, but first lift up to let the blood rush back into your feet, your toes, and then we'll come down onto the ground. And when you get there, hug your right knee in, extend your left leg down, and then take it across the body for a twist. Let's take 2 deep breaths in this twist. And then we'll switch sides. Couple deep breaths on this side. clear your mind, release toxins from the body in this twist, and also start to remove them from your life, from your mind. Okay, let's come to center, bring both the knees in. And then tuck and roll to sit up. Extend your legs out wide. We're going to do a wide-legged forward fold before Shavasana today. So flex the feet and then bring the forearms down onto the ground. And we'll take a couple deep breaths here as I stretch the inner thighs, the groin area, and the backs of the legs, the hips. Okay, lift your chest and head, close the legs, and we'll come all the way down onto our backs for Shavasana. And like always, you could end in constructive rest pose like this, or in butterfly pose, depending on what you're feeling like today. Okay, close your eyes and spend at least a couple minutes here today, but you can stay here for as long as you'd like. Let's take a deep breath in together through the nose and release from the mouth this time. Sigh it out. Thank you for being here today. I'll see you next week. Namaste.